Alright, Shalaki brothers. This is a video that the brother Arrow, the Nation 144 put up. Alright, I'm going to play it.
Once again, my beautiful viewers, hi. Today's date is June 8th, 2026. I'm actually just going to be continuing one more time, reminding people after June 15th, 2026, we're going to have a serious problem with gas, price of gas, petroleum. We're going to also have a serious problem with food supply. The food chain is going to be disrupted. I know there's a lot of oil in the oil reserve here in the US, but the oil has to be at a certain level for the oil to actually go through the pump. We are about to exceed that level on June 15th, 2026. Once the oil...
Right, so he said that the level that it has to be at, Babylon's going to exceed that level sometime next week, because next week is the 15th. Alright, I believe it might be what, Wednesday or Thursday? What's the day? The 11th? Yeah, sometime next week. So I'm gonna play the rest of it, but we gotta sit back, wait and see what happens. But a few months ago, other people that were experts in the oil markets and all of that, and experts in the oil field or whatever, was saying the same thing. But their time frame was around June or July. Somewhere around that time. Alright? And again, they're bombing each other again. And they're doing it again while the markets is open. Usually he'll wait until the weekend, when the market's closed. Alright? Then he'll do it. Alright? But it might be different this time. We know eventually, all the bullshit that he's doing, eventually that shit ain't gonna work no more. With the manipulating the markets, lying and saying, well, we got a deal coming. There's a deal coming. We're one page away from a deal. We're 1 hour away from a deal. All right, and then there's reports that have been coming out saying that he said that like 38 times, 30 to 48 times, 40 times. So eventually the markets will catch on, and I believe this might be it now, because now he's not even trying to say, now he's just saying, yeah, we're gonna hit him. We hit him, and we're gonna hit him harder. All right, because he claimed it's retaliation from that helicopter being shot down, which people are saying the small hats actually did that to keep the war going, because they said at first Iran denied it, that they even did that. All right, and people again are saying that the small hats are actually responsible for that. All right, but whatever. I'm gonna play the rest of the video.
Go below that level. The oil cannot look the pump.
I'll play it back a little
but
bit.
The oil has to be at a certain gas, price of gas, petroleum. We're gonna also have a serious problem with food supply. The food chain is going to be disrupted. I know there's a lot of oil in the oil reserve here in the US, but the oil has to be at a certain level for the oil to actually go through the pump. We are about to exceed that level on June 15th, 2026. Once the oil go below that level, the oil cannot look, the pump will shut down and they can no longer work. So basically what we're about to see a price hike on gasoline that we have never seen before, also on diesel. We're also about to see food reach prices.
And I believe, if it does happen, where, the reserves, eventually it is going to happen. Because, them ships have been sitting out there for 3 months, a long time. All right? And Babylon, what people are saying, well, Babylon, they, got their own oil too. Yeah, but they also import a lot of oil. I think like 40% of their oil, Babylon imports from the Middle East. All right? Or Russia, or whoever, or whatever. And we know they're not buying shit from Russia, all right? And the Strait of Hormuz is still closed. So the oil that Babylon has, they're using it and they're exporting it also. They're shipping it out too. So that's less oil for Babylon. All right. So again, he's saying around after June 15th, which will be next week sometimes. All right, sometime next week. They're gonna shut the pumps off. Basically, the pumps won't be able to operate, and gas and diesel is gonna go through the roof. Which I believe also rationing is gonna happen. All right, just speaking as a man, I believe before they run out, they're gonna real deal start rationing gas. All right, and like the scripture say in 2 Ezra the 15th chapter about a man desiring to go into a city and not be able, which we know that's a martial law takeover. It can start because of this energy crisis. Because if certain towns and cities might have more diesel or gas than others, and they're not gonna let people out of towners just come and just take their gas or take their diesel. All right, they're not gonna let them do that. So they'll set up checkpoints or whatever or what have you to make sure people out of towners or whatever don't come into their city or their town. All right, because again, people are going to be looking for fuel if they'll be able to afford it, because like he said, it's going to be high as hell too.
I've never seen before. A lot of people are going to struggle. A lot of people are going to suffer. I've also foresee a lot of people getting wrong.
Yeah, like this is the same thing through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. The elders, starting with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and brothers working on down have been teaching for years. Again, starting with the elders, all right, of Great Millstone, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, starting with the elders of Great Millstone. People are going to suffer, man. The Lord, the Lord said that, the mass of the people in his land is going to suffer. All right? And he put it in the mouth of his prophets to warn you about this for years. For years and years and years, the prophets, which again are the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, the pastors that the Lord set up according to his heart, have been teaching you, telling you, and telling you, man, that these times that we're in right now were coming. All right?
Robbed for their stuff, for their food.
What does it say, 2 Ezra 15? Spoiling one another for the lack of bread and great tribulation.
You guys on your P's and Q's? Food, you gotta treat it like gold now, folks. I'm sorry, but if you're not paying attention to what's going on, you're gonna become a victim to what's...
Yeah, if you ain't got Yahweh Shai on your side, you're gonna be a victim, man. All right? So let's go back to this. So again, he's saying like after the 15th, all right, that's when this is going to go down. Or that's when that's going to go down. They could cut the pumps off because there won't be enough oil flowing through the pumps for it to operate. But again, we got to sit back, watch, wait, and see what happens. All right. So we clicked on the hot summer on this one. All right, this is for the CNBC, and this again is for fair use purposes only. I'm not using this for any monetary gains, just for educational purposes only. Fair use, fair use. And it says Trump says, "I love inflation." And the other day, what did he say? He said he could care less about the American people's financial situation. Trump says, "I love inflation," after consumer prices index hit 3-year high. All right, it says President Trump said, "I love inflation." All right, because he's a billionaire. He's raking it in. He don't give a shit. It don't mean nothing to him. All right, he don't pay for nothing anyway. After he was asked if he was worried about newly released consumer prices index, and Elder Tahar has been saying, he has to be the cruel Lord, man. He has to be making statements like this. One, he said he don't care about Americans' financial situation. He don't think about it. Now he's saying that again, he loves inflation. He loves inflation. He don't give a fuck if your prices, he don't care if you can't afford food, you can't afford to pay a light bill or a water bill or anything else. He could care less. All right? He could care less, man.
To create this text-to-speech...
It says, President Trump said, "I love inflation," after he was asked if he was worried about a newly released Consumer Price Index. The CPI showed the annual inflation rate at 4.2%, a 3-year high. Trump implied that inflation would drop when the U.S. war against Iran was over. And when is it going to end? He said that it was already over. He said him and his people in his cabinet said that it was over already. All right, the military was destroyed. They're desolate. They got nothing. They're broke. They're desperate. You know, so on and so forth. But yet they're still shooting down helicopters. They still have control over the Persian Gulf, or that trade route, or the Gulf of the Straits of Hormuz. You know, a key trade route. They still got. They're still in control of that. So it's never going to end. And they started bombing them again. All right. This is what one of them what they call it, forever wars. All right. We've been taking out millions of barrels of oil, Trump said. The core inflation, and like I mentioned in other lessons too, when the whole war with Russia and Ukraine happened, and when Europe and Babylon put sanctions on Russia and wasn't purchasing the oil, all right, what Biden did, he released a lot of the reserves to Europe, all right. And again, in previous lessons, I showed that those reserves were never made up for. They never restocked those reserves. So he's bleeding them. He's, draining the reserves dry. All right. And like that guy said in the video, after June 15th, which again is next week, again, we got to see what happens. All right. They could clip the pumps because there won't be enough oil flowing for the pumps to work. Core inflation, which excludes the cost of food, energy, was at 2.9 annually. That is the line with forecast by economists. All right. So again, Trump said he loves inflation. So again, that's him giving you the middle finger again. That shit could jump through the roof. He could care less. All right. This one don't want to work. Okay, here we go. This is another one from CNBC. And again, this is for fair use purposes only. I'm not using this for the monetary gain. Just for educational purposes only. Fair use. Dow drops more than 900 points. And again, it could be worse tomorrow. Chip sales are worse. Trump threatens more Iran attacks. Live update. Which again, he was talking about bombing them again. Which they may be doing right now as I speak. Alright. So yeah, man, shit's about to get ugly, man. It's already ugly, and it's gonna get uglier. Alright. And this is beautiful too. Alright, because we're witnessing the fall of our enemy. This is Sirach chapter 25, verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in my heart to be happy. And the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And we're witnessing in real time the fall of our enemy. All right, inflation rising, this war in the war in the Middle East, and these other wars worldwide, so on and so forth. All these things, all right, is helping bring Esau's kingdom down. All right, so we're living again in real time and witnessing the fall of our enemy, our top enemy, the so-called white man. All right, and again, it's a beautiful thing. And again, this is going to be a hot summer, man. The way it's looking, it's going to be a hot summer. All right, we'll get this last precept and we'll close it out. It's the book of Daniel, chapter 12. The book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 1. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which shall stand for the children of thy people. And there should be a time of trouble, such as never was seen since there was a nation, even at that same time. And at that time thy people should be delivered, everyone that should be found written in the book, which was written in the book of life, the elect. All right. So the Lord said it's going to be a time of trouble that was never before seen, that has never been before seen. All right, and Lord will, those times, it looks like, you know, all signs show that those times, all right, that our forefather Daniel saw is going to take place, Lord willing, this year. All right. So with that, I pray this in transit lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory again unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors again to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Elder Tahar and on down. They rule and teach well, and peace and safety to you, brothers, that push this truth and sincerity. And with that, I'm going to say shalom to the elect.